Again, before getting into details, you have to remember this picture. Where is it? From Hadoop introduction. This one. So first you need to understand whether the tool is MapReduce based. All the Hadoop ecosystem tools uses HDFS as storage, but it might use MapReduce for processing, or it might not use MapReduce for processing. Whenever you have to configure a non-MapReduce based solution, then you have to evaluate the current configurations of your MapReduce framework, such as YARN or Classic, and then you have to adjust the resources between the MapReduce-based solutions and the non-MapReduce-based solutions. And today we are talking about PIG. It is a MapReduce-based solution. So it uses HDFS for storage and MapReduce for processing. And that means we don't need to worry about the any of the adjustments for the resources. Now we will go to the actual presentation of the PIG. In this, we will talk about overview of PIG, PIG architecture. We will see how to set up using Cloudera Manager. And this will be a very short video because there is nothing much in the PIG. We will look into parameter files, log files, and a small demo with PIG. PIG is a MapReduce-based tool to process both structured as well as unstructured data in Hadoop. So it's a MapReduce-based tool, and it can process both structured as well as unstructured data. It is termed as data flow language, and its syntax and semantics resembles functional programming languages such as Python, Perl, etc. It is primarily written in Java and open source. It is open source. It uses MapReduce framework, which means that when you write PIG commands or PIG scripts using PIG commands, it will be compiled into MapReduce, and it will be executed as MapReduce jobs in the Hadoop cluster. It is same as Hive. The only difference is Hive syntax will be like SQL, whereas PIG syntax will be like functional programming languages like Perl or Python. It uses HDFS for storage. It uses MapReduce or YARN for processing. Just a jar need to be deployed on all the nodes to run PIG statements to process data in Hadoop. PIG statements will be compiled into Java-based MapReduce programs. There is nothing you need to do to set up the Cloudera Manager. When you actually install Cloudera distribution of Hadoop using Cloudera Manager, all the PIG jobs will be deployed. And now I will show you where they will be deployed. I'm going into the clusters. So I'm logging into the gateway node. And also when you go to Cloudera Manager, if you look at the services, there is no service for PIG because there is nothing like a daemon process that will be running for PIG. It is just like a client-based tool that will be already deployed at the time of the installation. It's like Scoop client. I'm not sure why they have included Scoop client here, but not Pig. That is up to Cloudera design. But it should have shown something like this, which is grayed out, because for Pig there is no starting or stopping. So there is no. They should have added the Pig also here. And even when you actually it will not show up as a service at all. Anywhere it will not show up when you are configuring it, but it will be installed. And the way you need to validate whether it is installed or not is you can run the pig command, and if it is running, that means it is installed. And also, if you remember, we have configured high availability on name node, and we termed the service as name service 1. If you want to look at that, you can click on SDFS, and I'm sorry, not here, instances. Where is it? Yeah, here. If you go to SDFS and if you click on instances, as we are using high availability, we have to configure name service, and here it is saying that it is connecting to SDFS using name service. And also you can run, I think, DFS. Let me look at the, yeah, directly you can run ls commands, I think. ls user hd. Yeah. So if you see, you can run the SDFS commands directly from ls, and it is showing you the directories. So like this, you can validate the installation. And if you are curious where the pig is installed, again you can use find command, and you can search for the files by name by doing this. We are searching for all the jar files which have pig in them, and that will give you the location where the pig binaries are installed. Okay, so here is where pig binaries are installed, and also we have validated that it is connecting to the cluster. So all the configuration is done at the time of installation, and also when you configure HDFS and other stuff, when you deploy the client configuration, your pig related parameters also will be set automatically. Okay. And the configuration files will be again under etc, which is a standard location, and then you will have a directory with your tool, and you can give conf. This will be this is the standard location, but the actual all these are soft links for the files somewhere else. The main thing you need to understand is for pig configuration, it is not XML file. Like HDFS, we have core site.xml and HDFS site.xml. For MapReduce, we have yarn site.xml and MapReduce site.xml. For Hive, we have Hive site.xml. So most of the tools in Hadoop ecosystem uses XML files for the configuration parameters, whereas Pig uses properties file. Another example that uses properties is Scoop. Even Scoop uses properties file. So most of the tools will be in XML. If they are not in XML, then majority of the rest of the tools will be using this approach with properties extension. And if you look at the file, They are nothing but a key value pair of each of the parameters. So this is the key for the parameter, and this is the value. So this is how they will define all the parameters. Okay, but when it comes to Cloudera, except Cloudera, for most of the tools, the runtime configurations will be here. But in Cloudera, these are not the runtime files. They are only kind of a base, and these are generated by Cloudera itself. And we should not be updating any of the XML files or properties file from here. For Pig, if you want to override, I think you can change it here, but most of the tools, you should use Cloudera Manager to update the properties. For each tool, there will be a configuration page. You have to go there and update the properties files directly from here. But for Pig, there is no such place in Cloudera Manager, so probably you might have to update somewhere in the command prompt, which is highly unlikely. Okay, and the actual runtime parameters will be under cd/var run Cloudera SCM agent. It is very important to understand this location because if you have to troubleshoot the issues and if your Cloudera Manager is not available and if you want to review the parameters, you have to go to this location. There is another location where you will get the runtime parameter files. As I have explained earlier, Cloudera Manager might be down, but your Hadoop cluster might be up and running without any issues. So in those scenarios, if you have to troubleshoot any issues, instead of struggling with to bring up Cloudera Manager as quickly as possible, the first place you should go here for your parameter files, and also you should understand commands such as ps-ef or ps-fu to look at the process whether they are running or not. So if the process is running, then you should be good. And also you can if Hadoop cluster is running without any issues, but the Cloudera Manager is down, you should be familiar with the web interfaces of each of the tools. So for example, as I mentioned to you earlier, many times HDFS have a name node web UI. So you can click on that and it will give you details about HDFS, whether everything is working as expected or not. So using these resources, you can still support your cluster, and in parallel, you can work in bringing up your Cloudera Manager as well. That being said, let's see whether there is any pig.properties here. There is nothing. So somehow it is managing internally. I'm not 100% sure from where it will actually pick up this file. But if it is not Cloudera Manager, then it will be. You need to understand this location, etc. pig conf, and you will see the files here. You might have to update here and this one to tell which is the name node, which is the resource manager, etc. Okay, so there is nothing in this which says what is the name node and all, but it is picking up the right things. And the way you can validate whether it is working as expected or not is by simply launching the pig thing, and then as I mentioned to you earlier, it will clearly show you whether it is connecting to HDFS or not. Okay, and we will see the demo to run a sample job as well in a moment. Okay, this is the location for the parameter files, and the log files. When you actually run the pig commands, the log files will be created wherever you are running the pig commands. So it is very important to decide from where you have to run the pig commands, Otherwise, you will see too many pig log files scattered across your gateway node. So what I'm trying to say is we have launched a pig command line interface, which is called a grunt, and from this location, okay, we didn't run any jobs, that's why it is not showing up. If you run jobs, it will show you like this. Okay. So 10 minutes back, I have actually run a command. That's why it has created a log file here. So the log file will be created like this. So it is very important to decide from where you should run the pig commands, and you have to stick with that. Otherwise, this log files will be scattered across your cluster. So now we will we'll be looking into pig demo. We'll be launching the command line interface. We will launch, which is the pig grunt, and then we will program a sample pig script, which is called a pig Latin script, and we will validate whether it is working as expected or not. Okay, as I have shown earlier, you have to run the pig command to launch the grunt. To launch the grunt, which is pig command line interface, and then I am trying to execute the script. Okay, so this is the pig script. So there are, as an admin, you need not know about the pig scripts, but whenever you maintain the cluster, means if you bring down the cluster for planned maintenance, to apply the patches from Cloudera, or if you add the new nodes to the cluster, or if you decommission existing nodes to the cluster, you need to make sure to validate each and every tool in the cluster. Okay, so to validate, you should know simple pig scripts, and you should have a big data set which is scattered across all the nodes in the cluster, and then you can run this job, run these simple jobs to make sure that your cluster is having no issues before turning around to the developers after the maintenance. So you can use this script as template, but data set, you should have enough data set to validate. And here I am trying to read a file called single deck, which is in HDFS. So the way you can read the overall agenda of the script is to get the count of cards in a deck. It's number of records in a deck. So for that, first I am reading the file, which is called a single deck, into a variable, and then this is just syntax. So you can use it as template. It will group all the cards, and then we are doing count star on all the cards, and then dump it the command to dump onto your pig command line interface. If you want to store into HDFS, you have to run command called store, and you have to after store cards count, you have to give the location where you want to store it. Okay. Before running the script, let us validate whether we have this file or not. So you can run ls command, most of the HDFS commands directly from the pig command line like this. So there is no need to prefix like Hadoop FS or DFS like in Hive or Hadoop FS from the OS level command line. You can run directly certain commands from pig. If you want, you can run help, and it will show you the list of the commands which it will support. Okay. There is the, okay, you can actually use SS also to see all the commands, all the HDFS commands that are supported. Okay, so these commands actually you can run directly also, and also I think you can run like this as well. Okay, so there is a file under single deck directory. So we will be trying to process that data. So this is a path of directory from which we are reading the data. So you can actually copy and paste, and then we will run these things to process the data to get your count. Okay, so we have executed 3 commands, but there is no job kicked yet. Okay, but as I mentioned to you, whenever you want to run a big Latin script, it will be compiled into MapReduce program and it will be executed. So these are called as variable assignments. So when as long as variables are assigned, there will be no jobs running. Only time when the job will be compiled and run is when it encounters commands like dump or store. So store is to store the data in HDFS. Dump is to emit the output to the command line interface. So when you actually see that, then only the job will be compiled to a Java-based MapReduce program, and it will be executed as a MapReduce job in Hadoop cluster. Okay, so far it is just building the script, and you can actually illustrate by running command called illustrate and by giving the whatever parameter. Why? No, I think it's described. Sorry. Describe cards count. No, illustrate should work. I'm not sure why it is not working. Example. Yeah, it. No, for some reason it is not working. I will look into it later. But for admins, illustrate is not that important. For developers to understand the flow, they need to understand that. So far, we are not talking about Hive. So we are talking about pig. It is not table. If you remember, Hive table is nothing but a HDFS directory. So it does not matter whether it is a Hive table or not. We are picking up a HDFS directory. That's it. Okay, and in this case, we are picking up a Hive table, which is nothing but a HDFS directory. So it could be a Hive, it could be associated with Hive table, and it need not be associated with the Hive table. Okay, to make it clean, let us run these commands again. I'm sorry. Okay, it's cards rows, group, count. So these 3 are the commands. Now you can do dump cards count. There seems to be some error, but yeah, there seems to be some error. So first let me troubleshoot whether it is using, yeah, it is using resource manager. Default job name got an error while submitting java.lang. null pointer exception. Okay, probably there is a file. Okay, it says failed to read data from this location. So I think I know what the issue is. Okay, I think I have to give the file name also. Cards group, cards count. Oh, it is not working. Let me troubleshoot the issue. I think I should be able to troubleshoot it. FSCAT. Yeah, there are files here. So wait a minute. And I will update the script. But this is the basic script which you can leverage to do the count and make sure the map reduce is working or not. Most likely, it is connecting to the right resource manager server. You can validate that by looking when you run the dump command. It is showing that it is connecting to right resource manager. In our case, noticing CDH504. But for some reason, it is giving null pointer exception. So I need to fix this issue. I need to fix this issue, and then I will update the document. Okay. But from installation perspective, it is pretty straightforward. There is nothing you need to do. If you are not using Cloudera Manager, you just have to deploy the pig on your gateway node, and then you have to update the job properties to tell what is your name node and what is your resource manager. And from there, you will be able to run the pig commands. Okay. So that is it about the pig. Now we'll go to the next topic.